dust storm, man. Nobody calls Han Solo a bitch.
Bring him on. I prefer a straight fight to all the sneaking around.
I don't know where you get your delusions, laser brain.
Oh, come on, bro. It's the wars.
2020's been a pretty wild year for Star Wars and just life in general. Thank the Force is coming to an end. This is The Wars and More. I'm Joe, and of course with me is my good buddy Doug. Hey Doug, how you doing this week?
I'm doing pretty good. Joe, how are you doing?
Nah, I'm doing pretty good. Enjoying some vacation.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I just hope that once 2020 ends, that means 2021 is going to be better.
I mean, here's hoping. Cheers, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, I'll drink to that.
It's all we can hope for. We can hope for a better year. I mean, on the Star Wars docket, it's seems like it'll be better.
Yeah, definitely.
Or at least compared to. I mean, 2020 has been a good year for Star Wars.
Yeah, for Star
Wars,
Wars,
with all the cancellations and things like that.
Yeah, and it's funny, because as Star Wars fans, what do we all do when you had to stay home anyway? Is you watch Star Wars, right? So it was like, okay, I can mitigate some of this pain. It's just by watching Star Wars. So
yeah, yep. I mean, I've watched plenty of Star Wars during my holiday break here, and I plan on bringing in the new year again with Star Wars.
Oh yeah.
So I like doing that every year. Better than watching the ball drop. Watch a Death Star explode.
Absolutely, that's always a good time.
Think I might do Jedi again this year.
I
did A New Hope last year, and I think I'll go back to Jedi this year.
Nice.
Jedi's pretty cool for it because it's got the celebration at the end. It just and we just got to revisit that Luke Skywalker recently with The Mandalorian. So, oh yeah, I didn't really think of that. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah,
perfect. Yeah, but yeah, we've had lots of great stuff this year in Star Wars. I mean, we got the Clone Wars. We got The Mandalorian Season 2.
Right. Just
mind-blowing there, right?
Absolutely. From, I don't know. I might have come across a little like, where are they going with The Mandalorian in the second season, because maybe it didn't feel like it was like heading anywhere real fast to me sometimes, but it was like, oh, when they got there. It was.
I agree, and I have my criticisms as well. Sure. But that's fine, right?
Yeah,
it's Star
absolutely.
Wars, right?
Yeah,
we're allowed to criticize it.
Sure, I still love it.
Yeah, you can criticize something and still love it to death,
right?
Because that's, like I said last show, I loved every bit of it. Don't take me wrong, but I just thought it was, wrong place.
Right.
That conversation will continue at another time, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see how everything pans out and how season 3 turns out, in the coming year, or maybe in 2022. I don't know. They haven't really said when season 3 is coming out, have they?
I think they said they're going to be shooting season 3 directly after shooting the Book of Boba Fett. And the Book of Boba Fett's coming Christmas of next year. So I got a feeling we're going to be seeing Mando season 3 early 2022.
Okay.
So that's, there's nothing that's been set in stone on that. That's my hunch. So, but,
yeah,
but
we got the Book of Boba Fett to look forward to.
Yeah.
So we got the Bad Batch coming, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So looking good for 2021 so far, and I'm sure they'll sneak something in there. We got the High Republic coming. That's coming soon.
Yes, very soon.
That kicks off in just a few days.
Yes.
So I'm interested to see how that goes. And well, So we talked, we saw the announcements and everything, but what was your favorite moment in Star Wars for 2020? Let's find some good in this year, right?
Oh, favorite moment. Wow. That's well, it's Luke Skywalker. I mean, sorry. It's that was the one thing that happened in Star Wars this year that got me just so totally pumped. I don't know how else to say it, but I was giddy like a little kid, and my kids were looking at me weird when I was watching it. So yeah.
Okay, I mean, I was totally expecting that. Totally expecting you to say that, because I mean, you are a Luke Skywalker fanboy. You know,
sure, sure.
You know, you grew up with Luke Skywalker. You've been wanting to see Luke Skywalker in the next chapter for a long time.
Oh yeah.
So it made sense, and yeah, happy for you.
Yeah. How about you? What was it for you this year that?
I gotta say, picking a favorite moment,
Yeah,
is tough. But I gotta say, like that the whole Clone Wars season 7, but the Siege of Mandalore arc has got to be my highlight for the year.
gotcha.
I am such a fan of the Clone Wars. I mean, I participated in that Save the Clone Wars campaign back.
Oh yeah.
And I love the Clone Wars. It's some of my favorite Star Wars, and to see it get a fitting end finally was the highlight for me.
Gotcha.
And what an end! What a great
That was a
great
fabulous
arc
end.
that was.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Again, there we had some we'll call it stuff in the middle that was good, but it wasn't like all the hype we were expecting. But that was, man. God, you think back, right? It's been almost a year now. We were just coming off of The Rise of Skywalker. Still kind of on that, we'll call it that Star Wars buzz, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they hit us right away with the Clone Wars, right? So
yeah, it kicked off in February.
Yeah. Man, that's crazy to think about.
Yeah, I mean, and you're right. I mean, you're still riding that high, whether you liked The Rise of Skywalker or didn't. Something about a Star Wars release just creates a buzz, right? It gets everybody on high alert, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And whether you like it or hate it, your guard's up for the next stuff, right? If you love the last thing, you're like, okay, I hope they do good on the next thing. If you hated the last thing, you're like, oh, they don't screw this up too.
Yes.
So you
exactly. I like the way you put that.
So I mean, you're on guard no matter what.
Oh yeah.
And then the Clone Wars just delivers from episode 1 to the end.
It's fun, man. This is kind of off topic, but it's funny. You remind me. I had a boss once, right, when I worked in retail, and we had these regional managers that came around, and my boss would always be freaking out when he was going to be visiting, and he used to always tell me, we're only as good as our last visit. It's kind of the same way with the Star Wars projects. It's like, you're only as good as the last thing you put out, so make sure it's good. I like that.
Yep, and you either gotta do way better because everybody liked it, or you gotta do way better because everybody hated it.
Right.
Yeah, there is no real opportunity for a relapse in this fandom, right?
True. I mean, it's funny because I will say this, Rise of Skywalker, coming off of The Last Jedi, there was a lot of people didn't like it. We'll say that. Okay. And for some of the same reasons and for some of the reasons, how do you put it? people did not like The Rise of Skywalker because of the light it put The Last Jedi in, kind of, if you follow my meaning. So
Well, yeah,
you had you had people, shall we just say, on both sides of the split in fandom that were a little meh on The Rise of Skywalker. Okay. So coming off of that, we had the Clone Wars, which was awesome, and we were, as a fan, you could revisit over and over throughout the year. And then we knew we were getting The Mandalorian season 2, and that ended with such a bang. I don't know. I think Star Wars in 2020 was, on a high.
Yeah. Yeah,
So-
it was on a high from... I mean, The Last Jedi was just... I mean, it was a very turbulent time, right? Like,
Sure.
because the people who... I mean, there were 3 really ways to go about it. You either thought it was okay, whatever, or you hated it, or you really, really loved it.
Right?
There was not really any like, oh, it was pretty good. It was like, it had its moments. That's the middle ground.
Right.
Otherwise, it's like you hated it or you really loved it.
Well,
And the fans for The Last Jedi that really love it are super passionate.
sure.
And the people who hated it are super passionate about the stuff of old. So it created a lot of turbulence. And that turbulence, I think, really kind of hit a high note about the time of The Rise of Skywalker.
Right.
That's when it really kicked off. So this year was really the high point for the turbulence that was created by the film that is The Last Jedi.
Yes. I'll agree with that 100%. And I think the one unifying force amongst fandom has been The Mandalorian, in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
It has been one of those things that everybody can agree, this thing is awesome. This is Star Wars. So
Yeah, it's definitely had something for all fans.
correct.
And I mean, maybe being a series, it has a better opportunity to do that
Yeah, probably.
because it's got a little bit of wiggle room in there.
Yeah.
You can kind of go, you can have a start, a finish, but you have wiggle room in the middle, right?
Right.
Whereas, they tried to do wiggle room in the middle in the other 2 films, and the other 2 films they probably should have, stuck on the straight path.
Right. Exactly.
But yeah, I think being episodic and giving it that wiggle room, it flourishes in giving everybody something, right?
Yeah, for sure. I don't know. Thus far, I really have a hard time finding too much fault in it, for sure. But yeah.
Yeah, there's not a lot to nail down in it. All right. I think we'll cover a little bit of recent events. We're going to do a short little show, just kind of showing up,
Yeah, it's
wish everybody a happy holidays and everything, and kind of cover a little bit of what's going on, kind of reflect on the year that we've had.
yes, exactly. That's
But yeah, we're going to be getting out of here quick.
right on.
So, current events.
Yes.
Pablo Hidalgo.
Pablo.
Yes. Pablo's no stranger to this.
True. This is
You know,
this is true to form for him. Yeah.
Yeah, he's had his run-ins in the past.
Yep.
But you want to take this one, Doug? Go ahead and
Okay, sure.
kind of
So, super popular YouTube channel, Star Wars Theory, had a reaction video out for the finale episode of season 2, The Mandalorian, and you know, in the video he was visibly crying. It brought him to tears, right? The return of Luke Skywalker. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure of the details. Okay, there's things about different accounts and this and that, and I don't know all the details about that. What I do know is Pablo tweeted, quote, "Emotions are not to be shared," unquote. And then took that and put it on as his banner on the account. So, for me, as we just covered, that was the highlight for me in Star Wars this year. The return of Luke Skywalker to seeking out baby Grogu. And I have to say, it appeared as though Star Wars Theory, you got really emotional over this. And, he's got his reasons going back in the past, okay? And I don't want to get into all that, but I understand why he could get that emotional about it.
Right.
Me, growing up with this character, I have to say, I had my eyes welled up a little bit when I saw Luke, and I got super excited about it. And then to hear something like this from somebody in Pablo's position at Lucasfilm kind of puts a stain on that. It just hurts a little bit, I'm not gonna it's not gonna wreck my day, okay? But I think Lucasfilm needs to rein this kind of thing in. That's all. Because as an employee in his position, I don't think that sort of thing should be how he's spending his time.
Yeah, I would agree. His apology, he said he wished to clarify that emotions are not to be shared with sarcastic self-mockery, and was certainly not intended to be hurtful to anyone. Okay, maybe.
Right.
Maybe. But you are on a feed that is criticizing YouTuber. Right. And you make this comment. Whether it's self-mockery or not, it was not taken that way. And you have to be conscious of how things can be taken, especially in the position you're in.
Yes.
Because you are where you are. I get it. Fandom right now it's a weird spot. And this kind of crap happens every day, fan to fan.
Sure.
But those fan to fan interactions don't typically involve Lucasfilm employees.
Right.
And should not include Lucasfilm employees.
Right. The part that gets me a little bit is that working for Lucasfilm, he's essentially tearing down the IP that gets him paid. If that makes any sense. I don't see how it does. You know what I'm saying? I just...
I don't know if he's just in the place where I'm at, because I'm no fan of reaction videos. Okay?
Sure.
I'll just say it.
Neither am I.
I'm not a fan. I don't like them. I think too many of them are fake.
Sure.
This one seemed like he was legitimately emotional.
Okay.
But I am no fan of, reaction videos. It's not my thing.
Right.
But that being said, I won't go on there and mock people for doing it.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think all of us have better ways to spend our time, I just don't, I don't know. I think it says more about him as a person that he felt the need to do that. then,
And if I'm gonna muse about my own sharing of emotions, I'm gonna pick a better spot to do it
Yeah.
than a feed that
Exactly.
just saying.
Yes.
That it just okay, self-mockery or not, the venue was not appropriate.
Right.
And yeah, they just need to be better about this. And, I definitely expect Pablo to be better about this.
Yep. Hopefully moving forward he will. It'll be nice.
Yep. That'd be nice. All right.
So,
I guess we'll stay on the Twitter beat a little bit.
yeah.
Not everything's bad on Twitter all the time.
Exactly.
So, how about Mark Hamill?
Yes, Mark. This used to almost be like a segment for us, wasn't it? Mark Hamill's Twitter.
I mean, I think that's why we're doing this. Like,
Yes.
It's just, we had to kind of suspend it a little bit because he said he was done.
Right.
He quit for the 45th time.
Yeah, right. But hey, when you got a reason to say something, comes out and says it, right?
Mm-hmm. So Mark says, sometimes the greatest gifts are the most unexpected and something you never realized you wanted until it was given. And he hashtagged it, "Thank you, John and Dave."
Wow.
Well, I think you're echoing a lot of fandom with that.
I think, yes, absolutely. I couldn't agree more with Mark as far as that tweet goes, that's for sure.
Yeah. And, yeah, I mean, as far as, never realized you wanted until it was given, I think we all knew we wanted this.
Yes. I gotta say, okay, not to belabor The Last Jedi in this, 'cause that was a few years ago, but we all heard Mark say it, that, this was Jake Skywalker, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he also came out and said, look, I'm just the bass player. I'm just playing the music that was given to me. Whatever, I'm paraphrasing a tweet. So he was doing a job, and that's what he was doing for The Last Jedi. He just did his job, and he did it well.
Mm-hmm.
But then to come out and see this, it's like, oh yeah, this is the Luke we were all hoping to see. Thanks for making that happen, John and Dave. I like that. Because I think, I know I felt that way when I saw the finale episode. So yeah.
Yep.
I don't know. Probably not much more to be said, but yeah.
No. I mean, and maybe he says, you never realized you wanted, and maybe it's just that period between, he quit. And they're like, hey, do you want to come back and do this? And he's like, I guess.
Right.
Now he looks at it like, I'm glad I did that. So.
Yes, absolutely. For that matter, Mark, we are all glad you did that.
Yeah, we're glad you came back. All right. What's next? We still on the Twitter beat?
Yeah, absolutely. This one, I gotta say, this is in reference to the same episode. Peyton Reed, he directed that episode. Had this tweet. This was really nice. Hi, just wanted to say thanks to all of you Star Wars fans. Your reactions to At the Mandalorian Season 2 finale have been overwhelming. Thank you. Hashtag May the Force be with you. So, this right here, in my mind, this is what Twitter should be used for. This kind of stuff, because it's we love this stuff so much. We're going to be there for it. And it's nice to get the acknowledgement back that it's appreciated. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. That kind of stuff's just nice to hear.
Yep, absolutely. And I think there's one more Twitter post, right?
There is. And it's along the same vein. This is from Dave Filoni, and it's got one of his sketches on there, Ahsoka, Grogu,
Mm-hmm.
And he says, on behalf of the crews of the Clone Wars and the Mandalorian, I want to thank everyone for your support this past year. It's an honor and a privilege to be able to make stories for you, your friends and families to share. Yeah, sorry. As we head towards the new year, I wanted to share this small bit of wisdom from my mentor. The best way to pursue happiness is to help other people. Nothing else will make you happier. George Lucas. Happy holidays, Dave.
Yeah.
Dang. That's just like going into the new year here. That's the kind of stuff you want to see and hear. Positivity. Helping others.
Yeah, and I think that's really what we want to look forward to in the new year too. Is like, look, as a fandom, we've been fractured for way too long. We don't have to like what each other likes.
Right.
We can discuss it. We can debate it. Let's just be kind to each other.
Absolutely.
You can argue, sure.
Yeah,
go for it.
Absolutely. We do that here all the time. Yeah.
It's fun. It's meant to be fun. Let's have a good time. Let's be nice to each other. Let's make 2021 better than the last 3 years have been with this crap.
Absolutely.
Because I'm tired of getting on and just seeing just hate lobbed from one side to the other.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this just it's just dumb. I'm going to call it what it is.
It is dumb.
It's just dumb, and we need to stop.
It's dumb, and personally, I feel like it's a colossal waste of time.
Yeah,
and we could, as fans, as Star Wars fans are the best fans ever. Okay, as far as I'm concerned, always have been, and I pray always will be. I think, as a fandom, we should be able to come together. We can have our disagreements, but we could all love Star Wars. And we can all look forward to good stuff in the future.
And, we talked about Pablo and things like that and how Lucasfilm shouldn't do this kind of stuff.
Right.
Lucasfilm employees.
Yep.
But in that same vein, we shouldn't be attacking creators, actors.
Right.
We shouldn't be attacking anybody. You didn't like someone, or not someone, something in a story, fine. Keep it to the story.
Absolutely. It's always been about story for me. Always. As far as the individual actors and the directors and the writers and they're all people. They all have their own likes, dislikes, opinions, beliefs. None of that has any effect on me.
Right.
If they're telling a good story, that's what does. That's it.
Yeah. Over the years, I mean, we saw, for the longest time, like what happened with Ahmed Best.
Right.
And Jake Lloyd and all that stuff and with Kelly Marie Tran and all that stuff that's happened over the years. Stop it.
Yes.
Let's go forward. Let's be friends that argue.
Yes.
About Star Wars.
I love it. I love it.
And we said it was going to be short. And it is. So if you have anything to add, you can always email us, show@thewarsandmore.com. That's the best way to get a hold of us. We're also on social media. We're at The Wars and More on Twitter, facebook.com/Wars and More. You can find all that and all the ways to find the show over at thewarsandmore.com. Any final thoughts this year, Doug?
Well, yeah. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too. And I hope everybody's had good holidays and that it continues. And have a happy New Year. And we will talk next year.